we often think that stress is just this thing in our head, in our minds, but we also know that stress does manifest itself through your body. If you're in a period where you are incredibly stressed, it is going to take its toll on your body and on your health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a definite connection between mind and body, definitely. And in fact, most individuals who are suffering with mental ill health conditions will also suffer from some kind of physiological or physical affliction. And vice versa. If you're suffering from a chronic ill health condition, which is a physical manifestation of it, you will often suffer from psychological issues as well, such as obviously anxiety and depression around the fact that you may be in pain or struggling with having to deal with daily medication and other kinds of things. So this is very important to note, and they're very closely linked. So dealing with the stress is so important when it arises in your life, because it can lead to further physical complications. And when I say that, I'm very wary, because I don't want people to stress out that when they're stressed, they start stressing that now they're going to become ill. But there is a link, so people need to be aware of that.
Now, before I let you go, thank you so much for addressing all these issues about stress, and we've certainly got some tools to deal with them in our own lives. But I think many of us also recognize that our loved ones and the people who we work with and the people in our communities are probably also dealing with these high levels of South African stress, if you want to call it that. Now, when we identify this in somebody in our community or somebody that we loved, what is the best way to approach them, and what is the best way to help them?
The best way to approach them, I think, is to be honest and open and say that you've noticed that something's going on with them, that you're there to support them, and that if they need to talk to you, that you are there and you will listen. I think that's the first step. Often that really helps. It's such a relief to individuals, even if they don't want to talk to you about it, to know that there's somebody there that cares and is not going to reject them for struggling with something. And then I think it's also important for you, if the person does start to rely on you and you need to support them quite frequently, to make sure that you also have your own support structures in place. Because if a person is very unwell, it can draw a lot of your energy and reserves, and you also need to make sure that you remain well so that you can support them adequately.
I think that's something that we often really overlook, the really important principle of looking after yourself, because if you're running flat, there's no way that you can look after others.
Yeah, it's very true. So remembering that we've always got to, may sound selfish, but put our own health first to some extent, and also care for ourselves so that we can be better carers for others.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. You've certainly shed light on a very stressful topic.
And it was always, as I said at the beginning, a pleasure to join you. And if you ever want to chat to me again, you know where to find me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.